Trump Legal Cases Digest, December 22, 2023. Interim win for Trump from SCOTUS on immunity question. Donald Trump is facing a variety of legal entanglements, including federal and state trials, both civil and criminal. The New York civil fraud trial is nearing its conclusion, and the Supreme Court's considerations could impact Trump's federal trials related to the 2020 election interference. Additionally, the Supreme Court is examining two cases that could potentially delay the election interference trial, and the Colorado ballot ban is a third potential case. The election interference trial was originally scheduled to begin in Washington on March 4. Here are the latest highlights on the ongoing developments. Engoron makes sizzling ruling, Trump's entire NY case collapses. In a scathing order, on December 18, 2023, Judge Arthur Engoron criticized former President Donald Trump's star expert witness, Eli Bartov, in the Manhattan civil fraud trial. Bartov, an accounting professor at New York University, testified that there was no merit to the Attorney General's fraud claims in Trump's financial documents. However, the judge asserted that Bartov had lost all credibility by testifying in this case, emphasizing that his testimony proved that, for a payment of approximately $877,500, some experts would say whatever is desired. The court found that Bartov's testimony contradicted its previous summary judgment, which concluded that Trump had fraudulently inflated the value of his assets. Engoron highlighted that Bartov's overarching point, that the statements of financial condition were accurate in every respect, was inconsistent with the court's detailed findings of numerous obvious errors in those statements. His overarching point was that the subject statements of financial condition were accurate in every respect, Engoron wrote. As this court discussed in excruciating detail in its September 26, 2023, summary judgment decision, the statements of financial condition contain numerous obvious errors. By doggedly attempting to justify every misstatement, Professor Bartov lost all credibility. Despite Trump's attorneys making at least 5 requests for directed verdicts during the trial, Judge Engoron denied all outstanding motions in one comprehensive ruling. He reiterated key points from his previous summary judgment, emphasizing that while valuations might differ, misstatements such as valuing properties as vacant or misrepresenting sizes are not subjective differences but lies and, at worst, fraud. Valuations, as elucidated ad nauseum in this trial, can be based on different criteria analyzed in different ways, Engoron wrote. But a lie is still a lie. Valuing occupied residences as if vacant, valuing restricted land as if unrestricted, valuing an apartment as if it were triple its actual size, are not subjective differences of opinion, they are misstatements at best and fraud at worst. Engoron also refuted Trump's argument regarding disclaimer clauses, stating that they do not shield defendants from liability and, if anything, may expose them to liability. They are not disclaimers at all, Engoron said of the clauses. They are not defendant statements, and they certainly do not shield defendants from liability. If anything, they expose defendants to liability. In response, Trump's lawyer, Chris Kise, criticized the ruling, claiming it failed to address the legal elements of the claims and suggesting a predetermined outcome. The trial, initiated by New York Attorney General Letitia James, accuses Trump and co-defendants of inflating Trump's net worth on financial documents to deceive banks and insurers. The court previously ruled that Trump and his co-defendants had committed fraud. During Bartov's testimony, he claimed to have been paid approximately $877,500 in total for his work as a defense expert, further emphasizing the significant sum involved in his involvement in the case. Shortly before Judge Engoron's ruling on Monday, the Attorney General's office filed a letter to the court opposing Trump's request for a directed verdict beyond frivolous. Defendants are once again whistling past the graveyard by relying on arguments the court has already objected to, making factual assertions that are squarely contradicted by the evidence or have no record support at all, State Attorney Andrew Ammer wrote in the court filing. This court hereby denies that motion and denies all the prior motions that the court previously took under advisement, Engoron wrote. Trump disputes insurrection label after Colorado Supreme Court ruling. Former President Donald Trump responded to a recent Colorado Supreme Court ruling disqualifying him from the state's presidential primary ballot by asserting that he is not an insurrectionist. Trump, speaking at a rally earlier this week, made no direct mention of the court decision but took to his social media platform Truth Social 2 days later. In a post, he stated, "I'm not an insurrectionist, peacefully and patriotically. Crooked Joe Biden is." The court's ruling cited a clause in the 14th Amendment, which disqualifies individuals who took an oath to uphold the Constitution but then engaged in insurrection or rebellion from holding state or federal office, resulting in Trump's exclusion from the 2024 Republican primary ballot in Colorado. In response to the court decision, Trump's campaign characterized it as completely flawed and undemocratic. A spokesperson accused the Colorado Supreme Court of supporting a left-wing group's scheme to interfere in the election and claimed that it eliminated the rights of Colorado voters. Meanwhile, Trump's political rivals in the upcoming primary expressed support for his participation. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis criticized the court's decision as an abuse of judicial power, stating, "The left invokes democracy to justify its use of power, even if it means abusing judicial power to remove a candidate from the ballot based on spurious legal grounds. SCOTUS should reverse." New Jersey Governor Chris Christie emphasized the importance of a trial and evidence before excluding someone from running for president based on charges of insurrection. Kinzinger mocks Trump's odor, spokesperson fires back with accusations. Former Republican Representative Adam Kinzinger stirred controversy on Twitter this week when he suggested that people should wear a mask in the presence of former President Donald Trump due to his alleged odor. Kinzinger, a vocal critic of Trump, tweeted, "I'm genuinely surprised how people close to Trump haven't talked about the odor. It's truly something to behold. Wear a mask if you can." The accusation attracted attention and ridicule on the platform, with many users mocking the former president for his purported smell. In response to Kinzinger's comments, a spokesperson for Donald Trump issued a statement that turned the insult back on the former representative. The spokesperson stated, "Adam Kinzinger farted on live TV and is an unemployed fraud. He has disgraced his country and disrespects everyone around him because he is a sad individual who is mad about how his miserable life has turned out." The exchange on social media highlighted the ongoing tension between Trump's critics and his supporters, using personal attacks to discredit each other. Trump's alleged pressure tactics in Michigan. "We've got to fight for our country." According to a report by the Detroit News, former President Donald Trump personally exerted pressure on two Republican officials in Michigan, Monica Palmer and William Hartman, to prevent the certification of the 2020 presidential election results in the state. In a phone call on November 17, 2020, Trump allegedly told the officials that they would look terrible if they certified the results and urged them to fight for our country. The obtained audio of the call also revealed Trump's assurance to Palmer and Hartman that his team would take care of them, emphasizing the need to prevent others from taking our country away. During the call, RNC Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel, a Michigan native, reportedly encouraged the officials not to sign the certification, saying, "If you can go home tonight, do not sign it. We will get you attorneys." Trump added, "We'll take care of that." Following the call, both officials reportedly left the canvassers' meeting without signing Wayne County's official statement of votes. The next day, they attempted to rescind their votes in favor of certification, claiming in legal affidavits that they had been pressured into voting. The revelations raise concerns about potential interference in the certification process and the alleged use of influence to challenge the election results. SCOTUS declines immediate ruling on Trump's presidential immunity defense. The U.S. Supreme Court has opted not to immediately rule on Donald Trump's claim of immunity from prosecution in the federal 2020 election interference case. Special Counsel Jack Smith, who is prosecuting Trump, had urged the justices to expedite a decision, bypassing a federal appeals court. The case revolves around the question of whether a former president is immune from federal prosecution for crimes committed while in office. Trump's appeal had suspended his criminal trial related to allegations of obstructing Congress and defrauding the U.S. government in attempts to overturn President Joe Biden's 2020 election victory. The Supreme Court's response comes without citing a specific reason for the decision, and this question is one of several legal challenges confronting Trump. His growing legal troubles involve 4 criminal prosecutions and lawsuits impacting his business and potential 2024 Republican presidential campaign. The refusal by the Supreme Court to expedite the ruling aligns with Trump's attorney's position, who argued against the special counsel's request, emphasizing the fundamental nature of the question regarding whether a president can be criminally prosecuted for official acts. They contended that the paramount public importance of the issue warrants a cautious and deliberative resolution rather than a hasty one. While Trump sees a temporary legal victory in the Supreme Court's decision, critics argue that delaying the criminal case could have consequences for democracy. Political commentator David Rotkopf expressed concern, stating that the court's decision only helps Trump and hurts the country. Special Counsel Smith emphasized the extraordinary nature of the case, and critics fear that delaying the trial could potentially allow Trump to order charges dropped if he wins the 2024 presidential race. Journalist Mehdi Hassan remarked that the court's refusal to intervene is evidence that it may not protect our rights and our democracy and stand up to Trump should he win again next year and go full fascist. Thanks for watching. If you like it, comment and hit the like and share buttons. Subscribe for future videos.